Good evening, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Uh, I have an ocean to share and only bucket of time. So I will try to use maximum to this bucket. If anything feels unclear, reach out to me after the talk and I will be around. Let's dive in. I would like to start with few questions. How many of you came today on a bicycle? You can raise your hands. Great. And who uses public transport? Wow, amazing. How many of you live within 15 kilometers from this place? And given a chance, how many of you would like to grow your own food? Given a chance, how many of you would like to live a real sustainable life? How many of you think that by changing personal behaviors, personal actions, we can change the climate crisis of our time? Thank you for sharing. I am very grateful to be here, surrounded of people full of knowledge, ideas, and action. People who understand the importance of critical thinking and pushing boundaries. But while I share your political concern about a more sustainable world, I don't fully agree with the proposed solution of our time. Indeed, I don't believe the solution to climate change lies solely in reducing flying, banning plastic, or growing organic food, nor do I think it lies in telling the other part of the world what they should do. And frankly, I don't think the solution we advocate today come from a place of true understanding. Many of them are market-driven smaller fixes that make us feel good while diverting attention away from the real cause of the crisis, the corporate pollution. The root of the problem is mainly systemic, and a systemic problem needs a systemic solution. Putting a structural problem onto individual guilt won't take us anywhere. Yes, personal accountability matters, but the truth is that 93% of global pollution comes from corporate sources, yet we continue to focus on individual actions. Companies, under the name of corporate social responsibilities, fund programs that make us feel good about changing our habits, while at the same time, they continue to polluting our rivers, forest, air, and lands. Even the idea of carbon footprint was developed by Ogilvy and Mather, a New York City-based British advertising and public relation firm working for British Petroleum. I would like to share this moment with you, and while I share, I have a request. Do not judge me from my color or place of origin. I'm not sharing these points to make you feel guilty or feel pity for me. I consider you all as my peers, and I'm sharing these points in hope to expanding our knowledge and make solutions which can actually change something. I really feel we are allies, and I truly believe in it. But going back to where I come from, I'm the first person in my entire village to board an airplane and travel abroad. When I was leaving home, everyone gathered at the bus station to send me off. They were all so happy. Someone from that village was going to fly in the sky. They believed that my journey would change not just my family's future, but the future of entire community. To them, the West is paradise. Clean roads, no corruption, cooperative governance, a good life, and greater opportunities. Their faith in me felt both as a promise and a burden. I touched their feet and told them they would fly in the sky with me one day. On August 2019, I arrived at the Theatre Spectacle Festival in Zurich as an artist in residence in a real airplane. There I attended a panel on sustainability in the performing arts. The discussion was around an artist who have decided to stop flying altogether to reduce his carbon footprint. This sparked a heated debate about the ethics of travel, climate change, sustainability, and the impending ecological crisis. And I will be honest, at that exact moment, I felt angry, but didn't know how to express it. I truly appreciate someone's decision not to travel by plane. I understand its importance. But one should also understand that not flying is the reality of a very large majority of people in this earth. No one in my entire village has ever traveled by plane. They don't fly because they simply don't have possibility to do so. And here in the West, not flying can be a very powerful, almost revolutionary act, while it is so ordinary to others. And so I think while deciding global ethicalities, West easily forget individual realities that exist in the same world. Preparing this talk, I was thinking about the people from my village, where flying is still a dream, a symbol of emancipation, a possibility that may never be realized. This tension between ecological responsibility and the lived experiences of marginalized communities is central to my recent work. The dreams my family had for me, the hope my village had invested in me, and how I can give back are the core of my work. And thus migration, climate change, and sustainability are not just theoretical concepts for me. These are lived realities that are constantly negotiated and renegotiated. This led to me creation of my recent work, Paper Planes, where I folded 15,000 paper planes, symbolizing migration, hopes, dreams, and the real barriers people face in this world. The number 15,000 represent the amount of money in euros a non-European citizen need to have in their bank account to apply for a European student visa. It's an amount many of us will never have. Folding those planes alone took me nearly a year. The planes reflect the structural inequalities that make mobility a privilege, representing the hard labor, the dreams, and the hopes that are often crushed by economic inequalities and colonial legacies. In my work, I began asking, what does sustainability mean in performing arts? Is it enough to focus on small, short-term fixes that make us feel good? Or do we need to address the systemic structure that create inequality in the first place? If we truly care about sustainability, we must question the very structure of performance production. How we think about festival, for example, and who ultimately benefits from them. Right now, the system is clearly unsustainable, so we need to ask sustainability for whom? Are we creating conditions where artists can thrive without compromising their creative integrity? Can artists survive without traveling? How will we support diversity if flying becomes untenable? Who will come? Who will see? What stories will be told? What kind of society will be shaped in that frame? Recently, some European artists and institutions came together to make some proposals for sustainable theater. One of the artistic proposals of this project was that an artist would send their work to other countries to be made by someone locally without the artists themselves traveling. I was also invited to join this project for a big festival in Holland. I would not talk about the ethics, politics, power dynamics, autonomy, collaboration, and vision of the project. Rather, I would like to say only this. Having multiple co-production may allow one to stay in their home, but they must ask, is that sustainable? When your work stays elsewhere by someone else under your name and your photo, does that reflect true collaboration? We must ask who benefits from this model. Art is not a franchisee business, and I don't need to tell you who get benefit from the franchisee business. We need to create an international ecosystem built on trust and shared infrastructure, where communities and countries share resources without political strings attached to it. True sustainability does not come from imposing solutions. It comes from mutual learning and building new strategies where local communities can create their own solution. Recently, many European institutions have proudly announced plans to reduce energy consumption by 40%. While this is useful, it doesn't address the heart of the problem. This reduction often comes from technological improvements like LED lights rather than institutional commitment. This is what I call performative sustainability. Actions that create the appearance of change without addressing the deeper structural issue at the play. Reducing energy consumption in theater is important, but without a broader commitment to equity and redistribution, these efforts remain surface level. I truly believe in the intention of these institutions. I really believe in them. But due to lack of time, support system, long-term resource, often they are simply responding to funding applications of greenwashing, not engaging in a real research and development to find new innovative forms and solutions. When we talk about sustainability, we must ask who benefits from resources and more importantly, who suffers from the lack of them. Sustainability is not just about reducing consumption or improving efficiency. It's about redistributing power, resources, and opportunities. The global North's approach to sustainability often ignores the reality of the global South, and European institutions rarely acknowledge the colonial history that shape our thinking about art, migration, sustainability, and resource. The current relationship between global South artists and Western institutions is based on exploitation from both sides. And it is extractive. It is not a trust-based relationship. We need a bit of your money, and you need our face and color for your website. Most of the time, it is really less money than a European artist. Work is made there in South with South material to be shown to European audience for European theaters and museums. The question of who consume art good is central too. This is not a sustainable model. We should build a model based on trust, long-term relationship, exchange, and understanding. Acknowledging our limitation and strength, it will need a lot of effort, hard work, genuine intention, commitment, a bit of resource, and being ready to fail. I do not want to complain. Rather, I would like to propose and try. Coming from a farmer's family, hard work is not just a strength, it's also a survival technique. Each year, in the flood, we lose our crops, but we don't stop farming. We keep trying with the hope that it will work the next year. This is the motivation and energy for my new project, the Paper Plane Grant, where I am going to make 150,000 paper planes. And through the work, I want to support 10 artists from the Global South with 15,000 euros each. They can use the money for whatever they feel is important. They may stay or leave or even fly to come to Europe. To complete the project, it will take me 496 days of 10 hours a day, which I will do here in European institution, and the money will go there in Global South without any string attached. This grant isn't just about money, it's about autonomy. It's about trusting artists to determine how to use the funds, whether for artistic project, community building, or even daily life. This project contributes to challenge the current power structure, offering a meaningful step towards equity and fostering long-term trust relationship. It recognizes that artists from Global South have their own vision for their work and their own ideas of sustainability for their communities. It is not a charity, but genuinely true sharing, hoping to create better, equitable trust relationship for a better future. The Paper Plane Grants aim to shift the narrative. Rather than perpetuating top-down aid, it empowers artists to define sustainability on their own terms. It's about redistributing resources and agency. It's about restructuring the system entirely. We cannot continue relying on a system that exploits the Global South for cheap labor and inspiration while perpetuating unequal power dynamics. Also, I should acknowledge that not everything is bad here in Europe. There are a lot of hope and nice people. Some institutions are experimenting with hybrid collaboration that prioritize fair compensation, local autonomy, and long-term relationship instead of one-off festival invitation. This is where I see hope. Last but not least, to my European peers, I ask you to reconsider what sustainability truly means. Let's start a conversation about the structure we are creating and how we can help artists thrive without requiring them to travel. Many young artists keep immigrating because they see no other choice. For example, I would have never come to Netherlands if I had been given an opportunity to study and support myself as an artist back home. Many of us are forced to leave, not of choice, but survival. Let's build a system where we all have the option to stay or to leave, depending on what we choose. We need long-term support models, not just project-based grant. We need a new artistic ecosystem where mobility is a right, not a privilege. And as I said before, I really feel we are allies and we can do it together. Thank you.